Good afternoon. And yes, I am Rungi Goswami and I am the Chief Marketing Officer for Newgen Software. Have been in marketing for like dog years, 24 years, and there's no tenet in marketing which I have not touched upon till now. So today's topic is humans imagine, data illuminates, and AI elevates. Well, there's this image of the picture of the typewriter. Once upon a time, that was technology. And we used to spearhead or dole out revolutionary ideas, creative thinking out of that typewriter. The typewriter used to be the output, the mechanism for output. Today, the keys have changed. Uh, Technology in that way has changed, but the source remains to be the same, which is humans. So, if I have to connect the typewriter to the humans imagine and the data part of it, so today when we imagine something, we just don't imagine. We imagine it with the help of data. We first see the data. What is it trying to tell? Does it communicate a story? That kind of triggers our imagination, our thought process. And then once we are on it, then AI comes in the picture and it elevates the entire element because as we dive deep, you will see that AI sees what we generally don't see and how the human way we think is just 1% of what we see in the overall canvas of 100%. Where my next slide takes me to is about digital transformation in India didn't happen gradually, it just happened in one shot. This is 820 million in one palm in just one go. So, what does that mean when we talk about that entire digital transformation story? So, this is not an infrastructure, it is human emotion intelligence in one slide over here. When we say because 900 million documents digitized, we are saying that so many documents like paperwork was right out of the cupboard and into the bloodstream of main India. 150 billion UPI transactions. This is like what? Trust at the speed of tap. 820 million smartphone users. So it's like real time happening. It's no longer like you are waiting for emotions to flow. So 800 million smartphone users that we have now and still growing, and 700 million social media users. So everything is conversational. There is no such thing that, oh, we did something on print and all. Everything is conversing and changing every time. So marketing, when read the last line, which is marketing hasn't moved away from storytelling, it has um, so what can I say? It doesn't start with the script. It starts with systems, signals, intelligence. And today, the CMO is what? We are no longer traditional chief marketing officers. We are rather the architects of customer intelligence. We are orchestrating data. There's nothing I today we are at a time where I can't be sitting doing traditional style marketing. First, the data has to talk. And it's my job to make the data talk because otherwise data is just plain black and white. And how do I do the storytelling basis the data? And then do I use AI to elevate it, to speed up the output, and how to get to the output that is if the company is requiring business, if the company is requiring leads, if the company is requiring whatever it is, how can I use AI to elevate it overall? So this is the new reality. And believe me, in India, things are changing faster than we can. And I'm proud to say when we talk about the BFSI world, which is the business financial service, the banks and the insurance, we're far, far way ahead when it comes to other countries. And we have a lot of data which shows we talk to CIOs, CTOs of banks in North America, even for that matter, Wells Fargo and other banks. And we see we are moving at a breakneck speed and digital transformation is really the talk of the day, the hour, the moment in India. The overall Viksit Bharat agenda that you see, Viksit Bharat 2047, is all about digital transformation. If you dive deep into the METI and the Niti Aayog MOMs, you will see what Viksit Bharat is all about, and it is all about digital transformation and the use of AI. The AI first, the AI led, the AI native approach. Well, there's a thin line and the thick line that differentiates between all the three AI terms, but nonetheless, that's what is the agenda. Yes. So going back to my prelim, the thought that I started with, 1%. What we marketers look into? We see honestly, it's just 1% visibility that we have overall. We see some ads somewhere, we see some spreadsheets, we see some meeting notes. That just, believe me, it's 1%. Behind the scenes, there is 30% of the weightage is given to systems. They are analyzing so many things. They are giving us drop-offs, click rates, which one was opened for how much time, the website, the patterns, or the systems which is gauging data. And 90% of it is actually coming in from AI. The predictions, the patterns, they trace through patterns what is happening. So over here, there's, I would say, that human visibility could be biased by intuition, could be biased by so many things. This is 1% is what humans see. In my days, when I was doing marketing, there were three kinds of organization: change driven, marketing driven, finance driven, you know. So today, most of the organizations want to become marketing driven, because that's where uh, the world is that's what the world requires. You need to be able to predict, you need to be getting in front of your customers in exactly the way the customer will see you, because of the hyper personalization that has come into place. So that's where we are. Interesting thing, humans are incomplete without data, and data is powerless without AI, and AI is dangerous without human direction, of course, and we'll see that how. 70% of language preference of Indians expect content in their preferred language. While we all love to speak in English, but we think in a certain language. I am a Bengali, probably I think in Bangla in my head. Some of you probably think in your own mother tongue. So that's the way we are wired. It is data telling us that 70% of Indians prefer to see things in their local language. And why just Indian? For example, if I'm targeting the my target group that is in Middle East, I would translate everything in Arabic, and I do it. So 70% of language preference is um, is 70% of folks want to see their elements in a preferred language. 65% is social discovery. They do new products in social media platforms, because the algos tell me one person who is not on internet today. And even from people from the rural places, my parents, for a matter of fact, they're hooked onto YouTube. They're seeing devotional things on YouTube and so many things. And in between that, they're getting these ads and all. I keep on getting feedback from my mom. Oh, there is this new cream in the market. Where did you see it? Did she see it on paper? Did she see it anywhere? No, she's actually seen it through an YouTube ad, or maybe whatever platform she's using. So the social discovery that is happening is of immense value when we are in the CMO playbook today. 50% of rural growth, believe me, 52%, the rural India holds that much of internet today. And much as we think we are urbanized and we are urban folks, we are educated, believe me, BFSI world is impacted with this rural population, and most of the products that BFSI world rolls out today is for rural growth, and this percentage of population. 40% early drop offs of customer drop offs happen even before a human touch point. Even before a meeting is scheduled, they see something, because by the time you would have scheduled a meeting and things like that, well, customer, you've already lost that engagement. The customer has moved on, because an agentic workforce, AI agents, and all that we probably will see in the forthcoming slides, that has taken over. Somebody has already had a discussion through an AI agent, all that, and some ads, some clicks, something, 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 and before even the human touch point has happened, drop off. So this is a thing, whether you're in the B2C world, that is business to direct customer, or in the B2B world that we are in. These are some grim realities that we face every day. Old marketing model is broken. No longer linear patterns. Hyper personalization is there in place. So it is algo controlled. You cannot control. Oh, today there will be print. They will, by the time the hoarding is visible, you've lost it, because Insta, Facebook, LinkedIn, every other algorithm is controlling the mechanism. So your traditional method is taking a toll. Silo data chaos. Somewhere a data center is sitting. Somewhere there is data sitting in some spreadsheet. Somewhere there is somewhere there's a website. All of that siloed. There's data chaos, lot of data chaos. So there is, in the absence of a structured way of streaming data, there is siloed data chaos. Legacy system lag is there because traditional marketing infrastructure, we cannot process digital behavior at the speed customers now expect, because everything is so AI-fied and the brain is processing fast that it becomes very, very difficult to break all legacy systems which are inherent. Now, over here, while I'm talking about the way we humans think, but imagine the systems which are sitting in a bank. Imagine the systems which is probably sitting in the biggest insurance company, like life insurance, the LIC, life insurance corporation over here. So imagine legacy systems, they're slowing down everything. So the need is to get things going faster, because that's what customers have zero tolerance to lags. So how do you handle this legacy system lag? The shallow personalization, because while you might want to say that, oh, do you want to eat this? That is shallow personalization. That's automation pretending to be personalized. So unless you get into the details, if I said, do you want this, ma'am? I said, come on, don't you know what I already want? Haven't you seen the pattern of my food eating habits on Swiggy or Zomato? Don't tell me what if I want this. You should have known it by now. So that's shallow personalization. It has to be hyper personalized. And static content, dynamic content, these are things, because everything is changing. Everything is so dynamic. Every second there are upgrades. Every second there is new things coming up. So if you get into that old world mode of static content, it's sitting over there, and you think it's going to work in the next few weeks or months, it's not going to work. So the old marketing model is clearly broken, and Indian marketing has fundamentally shifted from campaign to continuous experience. Uh, when I was learning marketing way back when I had started my career with Microsoft, and when I was learning campaigning word came from the word camp. You extend footprints at every place you go, and that becomes a campaign. And now that campaign word is getting a different new spin altogether. It's no longer the where your footprints are visible, but it's more about continuous experience. How are you changing the experience? How much can you keep your audience at the edge? And that's what and how are you managing the behind the scene with intelligent systems? That is about campaigning. So everything Indian marketing overall fundamentally is changing, and CMOs who haven't made this transition are operating with an outdated playbook in a transformed game. And honestly, sometimes me sitting where I am, I feel the brunt of it, because and I always try and be relevant by reading, getting into the technology elements and understanding. Otherwise, even a CMO who was great once upon a time will no longer be relevant today. So that's where we are. And all you students over here, mass media students and everything, for someday maybe you'll pursue marketing. And so therefore, how do you stay relevant? How do you uh, uh, tell yourself, oh, what worked previously is not going to work today? You have to see the transformation first in yourself. So that's what I mean when I talk to you on this. Same thing, what I said, humans imagine, data illuminates, AI elevates. So humans, the source is humans. You cannot change your. You will be the storyteller at the end of the day. You will be the first who will. But then there's an interconnection in everything. You have to look into data. Then you please imagine. Don't start imagining or visualizing before you have some proof of not just proof, but what sources you have. Your brain is a source, but your data is also a source. Look into it, because that will give you fresh ideas, that will give you better ways to do your storytelling. And you have to use AI to elevate. Now, replacement of jobs and replacement of humans being replaced by machines, all of that, believe me, in my organization also, a lot of such talks are happening. But honestly, we are not replacing humans with machines. We are not replacing humans by with AI. What we are doing is we are uh, changing roles. We are telling our content writers to get more or bring more value to the table by bringing in new skill sets in their arena, or in their area, in their radar. So it's not about our machines replacing humans. It's about how to bring more value to the table, how to get a seat on the table, how to uh, grow with time. So It's just AI elevating the game. It is not that AI is trading it off with humans. No, that's not the case. So the more you understand what AI is doing, and another thing about AI is till the time you know how to use AI, you will not be able to make use of it. AI is as good as the data and the prompt, data training that you've done and the prompt you're giving. So be very sure about what you want. Otherwise, AI will give you all wrong things. So that first level understanding is very required, and it comes with practice. It comes with hit and trials. So don't give up. You have to, because AI is also the way it's consuming data and the way it's translating and translating everything on the screen is changing every day. So learn the trick of the trade and how to use. So this is how humans imagine. So the purpose, the brand narrative, the emotion ethics, everything is all about humans. The data, it's more real. It's signaling you all the behavioral elements, the intent patterns, everything. So use data for that, and at the end of the day, please use AI. So this integrated approach is what is going to help you grow as a marketeer, and has helped me grow, and I do it every single day. So the more successful Indian brands aren't choosing between creativity and technology, they are using both, and they're multiplying one by the other. Same thing, done in a pictorial way, something different. Uh, Story is the same. So nothing changes. It's about storytelling, the culture element. See, algorithms. Well, Instagram algorithm. Even Instagram CEO doesn't know how the Instagram algorithm works, because we talk a lot with the Instagram main office, and even they sometimes say, "Oh, Runki, this is not going viral." We don't know, because they don't have any control on the algo. Somebody watching something at 11 p.m. just kind of spirals, and then it dies down. Daytime 11 a.m. algos can just go here and there. But so therefore the cultural nuances are missed by algos. So humans bring in that cultural element. So through the different kind of um, content that is rolled out, the cultural element remains intact, and that is purely and purely dependent on humans. Algos cannot do it. Empathy part cannot be trained. It's not a trainable thing. So again, your AI cannot handle the empathy part. It comes from humans. And the intuition, again, that is human. This God has made us in a certain way. You can't have a machine be intuitive. It has you are the ones who are we are the ones who are intuitive. So we have to use our intuition, what works, what doesn't work, the sixth sense that we call. The category design, of course, creating markets, not just competing in them. That is again human element. And the taste, the authentic or the aesthetic judgment that defines brands, because you wear them, you talk to them, you experience them. So there is something that is human experience. So all this, the creative core is something which is very, very a part of humans. And this is what is going to sail us through. And if we have to keep this thing intact, at no way we can depend on AI to increase our empathy or intuition, or for that matter, whatever. So please play on these roles, is what I tell myself as well. We cannot undermine any of this. If I have to stand out, if I have to be an outstanding marketeer, I cannot cut down on these basic traits of humanity, of humaneness rather. Be good, or to remain good at whatever I'm doing there is. Why data reveals India what data reveals India's industry intelligence? Now, Ideal Newgen Software is a AI first unified digital transformation platform. So we work a lot. Most of our revenues come from the BFSI world, the PSC on the GovTech, and of course most of the things that we do are in India market about the digital first India, and the tech part that we embark on. So what do we do? What have we seen in BFSI? 30 to 40% loan drop-offs due to document friction. By the time you have, okay, you properly would have gone to any bank asking for a loan, but everything can be a delay. Sometimes you might just call and call and call, and at the call center you're not getting a response. You don't know what is happening to your loan. So 30 to 40% of the loan drop-offs happen right at the start. And that's precisely why banks come to us to get their entire content management, the entire ECM part that we call, they want it to get streamlined. That happens on the likes of Newgen's platforms. So that is the real-time data that we are sitting on. 78% customers expect personalized recommendations. For example, if you go for a credit card, now if the bank has not tracked your behavior, how do you think they're going to give you the right kind of credit card? So 78% customers expect personalized recommendations. What kind of a home loan? What kind of a credit card? Whatever it is. And it has to be not just personalized but hyper personalized. 33 crore credit transactions per day. We are sitting on a 33 crore transaction per day. Imagine what is happening. And digital lending market. Lending is over here, the loans. A bank is lending you money. So digital lending market to reach 30 lakh crore by 2030. If this is the prediction, precisely why the big Viksit Bharat agenda is gaining momentum, because the banks have to really what should I say? They have to work on the current systems to be able to reach the 30 lakh crore by 2030. So they have to move at a breakneck speed when it comes to transforming the digital versions and doing away with the legacy systems. Imagine the PSU and the GovTech world. The 90 crore citizen documents are digitized, going strong. 30 to 50% service delays from document mismatch they are facing, they're working on this. 40% grievances stem from lack of journey visibility, because what is happening is the way the banks work is that documents are collected by one team, then the entire process management happens by another team, and then the customer communication management. Communication management is the SMS that you get, welcome to ICICI Bank, the kind of messages that you get on. So everything is legacy. It's like one system, one department is not connected to the other. So therefore, the lack of journey visibility. So what happens now? In fact, this is a better data. A few months it was 60. Prior to this, it was 60%, and that has now got down to 40%. So the lack of journey visibility is a massive issue faced by PSTs and the GovTechs of the world, because they need a platform that kind of streamlines and puts everything in one go. Everything has to be connected so that you can speed up the time and give more loans and increase the business. That is, Aadhaar generates 30 crore verifications daily. It's a mix of manual and um, digital, and it has to go up. If it is digital lending by 30 lakh crore, then this everything, if everything has to increase. So these are some of the data points that we have from PSU GovTech now. And of course, Digital First India, today where we are sitting, 62% OTT viewing driven by recommendation engines. You go to your OTT Netflix, there are so many recommendations you get to see. So 62% of the visibility happens through um, recommendation engines. You might want to open that search button and type in over there, but most of the data that shows is that it's whatever OTT is giving you as a recommendation is what you consume first. And then 50% e-commerce sales driven by personalized discovery. Of course, even I am one of those who I see an ad somewhere while scrolling Insta, LinkedIn, whatever, YouTube, and there's an ad and I happen to buy that product. Could be a shoe, could be whatever. uh, and 850 of SaaS companies, 800 are the fastest global growth, because they are a platform company, they are SaaS companies. So precisely they cater to all this. So data is a behavior engine for modern marketing. This is the data that I go to when I have to do a lead gen campaign for the BFSI world, or if I have to do any kind of a thing with the BFSI world or the GovTech. And this is a general tech trend that we have observed. So it reveals, the data reveals the truth, and intuition which intuition cannot alone access. My intuition will not tell me, hey Runki, you know what, 30 to 45, 40% bank documents are not moving within the bank. This is data led, so I can make my intuition better by referring to the data. And these are the and sometimes there are hidden patterns. There's much more to it which we see through the data to understand customer decisions. So AI driven personalization improves cross sell up to 30%. These are some data. So whether it is for the BFSI world, but is true to other domains as well. AI led journeys nudging reduces drop offs. Of course, so many loans which were previously getting dropped up because of CIBIL scores and all. So the way AI calculates and analyzes and does everything, so it's reducing those drop offs. Intelligent content reduces onboarding, of course. Now it's happening faster. If you go to a bank to take a loan, rather than taking 20 days, it probably gives you in just 2 days. So, and PSU revolution is happening. Vernacular AI, you will see so many AI tools which is giving you content in different languages, and that is bringing in more rural customers. Automated triaging clears decade-long backlogs. Now it's all automated, so things that were sitting, farmer loans and everything sitting months and months, is now getting consumed and absorbed, and of course disseminated fast. So the processing time overall is reducing, and that's the PSU revolution that I'm talking about. Tech acceleration, AI led experimentation increases conversion. Of course, whether in whichever world, you even in universities, educational institutions, they are consuming and they are the best takers of this part. AI co-pilots reduce content production, whether you use ChatGPT, all the LLMs over here, large language models, whether it is ChatGPT, whether it is Gemini, Perplexity, all of that. So the content production is reduced by 60%. AI recommendation systems contributes to 20 to 40% of the revenue. So it is so important. And this is AI India specific data that I'm throwing over here. And why this is data necessary? Because I use this data, I consume this data every minute at my workspace. And I'm pretty sure all of you will agree that AI has already invaded our bedrooms. So many things we are not there's Alexa, there is something we are already using AI, and that's a reality. And okay, now next move, the CMO playbook. Well, those of you aspiring for a CMO position sometime later in life, or even sooner than you can think, sometime some of you wanting to take a marketer's chair. So again, what do you have to do? You will have to unify data. You will have to build intelligent content operations. You will have to do AI agents and human-led strategy and storytelling, of course, and closed loop learning. You have to close the loop with everything, with data, with AI, to be able to work on the CMO playbook of today's time. So it is at the end of the day, humans imagine, data illuminates, and AI elevates. And the future won't be led by the fastest or the strongest, but by those who remain the most intelligently human. And with that, on that note, I end my sermon over here. I hope it was not a boring sermon and you've learned something.